Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Horror Friendly Podcast, part of the You Run Podcast Network. I am joined, as always, by my glamorous co-host, Chantelle.
Hi, hi, hi.
Hey, hey.
How's it going?
It's good, it's good. Yeah, it's hot, but it's good.
It's hot, but it's okay. We're British, so we have to complain about it because that's the
We have
rule.
to. Even though we've wanted hot weather for a while, but nothing's ever good enough for us.
No, but it waited until June to get here. We had no, it's really funny. I saw a tweet earlier. It was like, well, not a tweet, whatever. Where it was like, if you want to know what it's like living in England, last week we had the fans on, and this week we've literally got the heating on. I was like, yep, that sums it up. And yeah, it's got hot again.
It's true. Yeah,
like 2 days ago you needed heating on, and now it's back to the sun. So it's like, awesome.
Great.
And I was like, this is why we complain. It's because there's no normal. Although I do love when like people come over and they're like, oh, you know, what do I need? And like
everything.
Ray Mac sun cream. And they always think you're kidding. And you're like, no, I'm genuinely being serious right now.
I know. I'm going to a gig on Sunday and I'm like, I'll have to just bring everything. Like a jumper, sun cream, like raincoat. Like I have no idea. Like it's ridiculous.
And even when we check the weather, it's never accurate.
No.
So it's a weird part of the world.
Yeah, it's a chaotic country.
Yeah. But anyway, shall we begin?
Yes.
We are going to a completely different side of the world. We're going to America, where we are covering the 2019 Us. So Adelaide Wilson and her family are attacked by mysterious figures dressed in red. Upon closer inspection, the Wilsons realize that the intruders are exact lookalikes of them. So this was directed by Jordan Peele, which I also love. I do love some of his films.
Yeah.
Katie, want to tell us about your first time seeing this?
Yes. So I saw this when it came out in Le Cinema. Yeah, because I loved Get Out so much. So he was kind of one of those horror directors that I was really excited to like see what he was going to do next.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really keen to see this film. And yeah, it feels like a long time ago that I went to see it, but I've not actually watched it very much since then. So rewatching it for this is, I don't know, it's nice. It's like I picked up on a few things that I didn't pick on last time, and it was nice to give it another watch. So, what about you?
So this was actually my first time, and it's one of those, again, I think I just always kind of thought it was going to be more like The Strangers, and I kept hearing it was really good, so I was really excited to watch it. Not my favorite Jordan Peele film.
Okay.
Like I didn't, and this was it. Like I didn't hate it, but like it's interesting. As someone who's seen it multiple times, do you think it wears off? Because this very much seems like, I think I said it with Midsummer, where it's like it works on that kind of shock and the unknown. So now that I know, when I watch it again, I already know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can imagine that reveal in the cinema when it's like, oh my God, it's them. Is really good, but when you're like, well, I know that.
Yeah, although that was kind of implied in like the trailers and stuff, so you already kind of knew that. I think there is the shock factor of that, but I think all the other things that are revealed and what happens throughout the film is enough to carry it. I think like that can be revealed at the beginning, but then everything else that happens, I think there's a lot to like unpack there. So I think although that is one of the main things of the film, there's like other things around it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's interesting when you're saying like, oh, there's things you didn't notice the first time, because like again, some films we watch, I'm like, I know second time around I'm gonna see things.
Yeah,
I didn't really get that with this one, where I was like, there probably is, but I think I was like, it's a little, as you say, like we actually knew the reveal from, like I already knew of that. I couldn't have, if it was in the trailer, if I just had heard it since.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't a huge surprise. And then it was just, I don't know.
Yeah. I think there were certain things like one thing I picked up on, which like I didn't for some reason pick up on it when I first watched it, was the fact that like, okay, we'll just say it now. Spoiler alert, Adelaide is red. So she swapped places with her when she was younger. And obviously that's a massive twist at the end.
Yeah.
But like what I didn't pick up on was technically Adelaide was killing her own kids. Like, because she was tethered. So she was killing her tethered kids.
So, fuck. That would explain why she was, because I kept being like, why is she so
reserved in killing them?
But it's also horrible. Like, don't be wrong, like watching a child die is horrific. But yeah, like watching them, that obviously had a very different effect on her than it did like her husband.
Exactly. Like, you're right. Like, so you could see it from just like, oh, this is horrible. I'm watching a child die. But at the same time, it's also like, oh, wait, these are my kids that I'm watching die. So at the time, you don't know why she's so reserved about killing them both. But like, obviously, then it's revealed, but it kind of works both ways. But you know, like when she was like saying no, no to tethered Jason walking into the fire. And like, if it was me, I would be like, why are you saying no? Like, kill him.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to kill you. But it only really like fully makes sense when you figure that out. So that was just something, obviously, I knew about the plot twist, but I picked up on, yeah, like the fact that it's actually fucked up that she's like attempting to kill her own kids kind of thing.
Yeah, so I actually really liked the twist that she'd always been red.
Mm.
But it did raise more kind of questions, because I was like, well, because I already had the question, why do they keep going back to the same beach house when she clearly doesn't like it there? Like every time she's there, she's clearly very nervous. She's clearly not comfortable. So I'm like, this isn't, they're like, oh, it's a vacation home. I'm like, it's not a vacation. Look how stressed she is.
Mm.
So I was like, if you were in that situation and you'd taken someone else's place, why would you keep going back to where they are? Would you not
Yeah.
get like, your vacation home needs to be in Australia? Like, you need to get away. Like, that confused me. So I was like, why? Which then begs the question even further, where I'm like, well, you came out, so why do you keep going back? Like,
Yeah.
you know the risk. You know that your other tether
Yeah.
could come out. Like, I know no one had done it before.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. Like, there's always that risk, and there's always that risk of like, because she did it to someone else, it's that risk of it happening to her kids again.
Yeah.
Like, that's why she didn't want to go back on that beach, because she did the same thing to another kid.
Yeah.
But like, I think maybe they go back to the beach house, but it was only really she had reservations about going to that beach. So maybe she was kind of like, I can go to the house, but like when everyone was saying about the beach, she was like, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the first time they've suggested to go there, and so it like brought all the memories back.
Yeah, it just seemed a bit too like, yeah, I was like, it might have been her
Yeah.
parents' home, which might have been why they had that exact. But I was like, I'd have sold it and bought
Yeah.
somewhere else. Like, that just seemed like such an obvious problem to me. I was like,
Yeah.
you've made, like, this is a problem, solve it. Like,
Yeah, like I can't go back to where I kidnapped a kid.
yeah, literally, like, duh, rule number one, don't return to the scene of the crime. Like, yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to like give away the plot twist, but obviously everyone that's listening to this has probably seen Us already. So.
If not, it's full of spoilers. It's part of the gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was going to ask what you thought of like the cast. I thought they were really well. I thought it was really well cast. I think all of them were very likable, and you were kind of rooting for all of them throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, and the fact that each of them had to play an alternate.
Yeah.
I think like the shadow versions of themselves were brilliant.
Yeah, that must have been such hard work to like go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, and this is it. I don't know how they would have filmed it, but it's that where it's like having to switch so quickly.
Yeah.
And especially like the two kid actors, because again, they're kids. And I think, and again, but they were so opposite to each other. Whereas like the shadow boy was literally feral. So again, that must be really fun to just play, just be like really out there. Whereas the like life version was quite shy, quite timid. Same with the girl. She was, she was a nice girl, but then all of a sudden her other half was a psycho. And I was like, this is great, actually, that they can just switch.
Yeah.
But yeah, that must have been a lot of work. But the casting was incredible. Also, young Adelaide.
Yeah.
And older Adelaide, very well cast. Like when they got like fade from her face to her grown-up face, I was like, that could genuinely have been her kid.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like their eyes were the same. I was like, yeah, what the fuck have you done that? Like,
it was really good. She was such a cute kid as well. I was like, you can't be evil.
You can't be evil. Well, I mean, she was only half evil, right?
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into that because like the morals of it is kind of like, But yeah, I really particularly like Winston Duke, who played Gabe. I thought he was kind of the dad. He was kind of like the comic relief, but he came out with these like Home Alone references, these like one-liners, and I thought it was quite nice because it kind of, although the sort of theme and the mood of the film is quite dark, you do have those kind of little sparks of comedy, which was really nice.
I literally had the same thought, because there's like the moment the dad's like, you could take my boat, and even the daughter's like, Dad, no one wants the boat.
You could have the boat for all I care.
Nobody wants the boat, Dad.
And it's like matter of life and death, and she still just takes the zinger at her dad. And I was like,
Yeah.
fucking incredible. Like, that was really good. I really enjoyed that bit.
And Adelaide's like, you didn't just quote Home Alone.
Then let's make some traps or something, like some Home Alone type stuff. That way if she comes...
Tell me you did not just reference Home Alone.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What's Home Alone? We haven't got time, children.
Yeah. What's Home Alone? It's so insulting.
But I was just, I guess it's that, like, when you're in that situation, like, you're just fighting to survive. I guess occasionally you're still a family. You're still gonna wind each other up.
Definitely.
I also love when the
sorry, no, you go.
I love when the girl was like, I'm gonna drive. And I was like, how old is this kid meant to be?
Yeah, I know.
I know in some states in America you can drive at like 15, possibly younger. So I couldn't remember where they were meant to be. And I was like, maybe like, oh, we can say maybe she just looks young.
Maybe.
But it was that where it's like, well, he's injured, you're handcuffed. And I was just like, I mean, valid, but how old are you?
Yeah, I know. I was confused by that. I was like, she looks way too young. To me, she looks like I don't know, like 13, 14.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just not like, maybe we're just not good with ages, Tal. Maybe she's way older. I also really liked the supporting cast as well, like Kitty and Josh, who Kitty's played by Elizabeth Moss, who I love. She's in Invisible Man, Handmaid's Tale. She's so good. And so like, I thought they were a really good like addition.
Yeah.
Again, they were kind of more comedy, and even their death scenes, like when I can't remember, it's like Alexa but not Alexa, and say fuck the police.
Ophelia, call the police.
Sure. Playing Fuck the Police by NWA.
She's like, call the police. And like, okay, playing Fuck the Police.
You're like, oh no. She was,
So good.
yeah. And to be fair, I did make a note when it got to their death because I was like, why has their shadow person not explained anything to them? Like, obviously, with Adelaide's family, they sat them down and explained it. So I was like, why have they not done that? And then, obviously, at the end, you realize why, because Adelaide has a very different connection. But at the time, I was like, straight to murder? Okay.
Yeah. I also think that Red is the only one that can talk.
Yeah, because she was human.
Yeah.
So she knew how to.
Exactly. The others were all made from that person. So she's the only one that has the ability to talk. So I think that's why, because they can't talk.
No. And the way she did it was so good as well. Just that like raspy, broken. Like it hurt. It looked like it hurt her.
Yeah, like she was really trying her best to like get it out. And I thought like, yeah.
She'd have had to have practiced her whole life because she'd have forgotten how to, but also that obviously wasn't part of the shadow, I guess. So
There was a girl.
I really like those two as well, and I thought their death scene was quite good. Really gory as well. Like that was the kind of one of the first times that you saw proper gore in the film.
I liked it actually again, like you say about the comedy bit, because obviously the twins were great, they looked so evil. But then when they got back to the car, and again it was them arguing about who's going to drive, and then they all started arguing as a family of who had the highest kill count.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? But again, I know me and several of our friends who would absolutely do that at the end, like zombie, and would just be there like counting it off. I'm like,
1, 2. Yeah, definitely.
So what's your high score today? And like, shit, beat me by 2.
It's so good. It's so good.
Definitely happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing as well that kind of got me was like, they rang the police right at the beginning of the film and they were like, we're 14 minutes away. They never showed up. And I was like, was it because somehow their doppelgangers found them and killed them? Or
maybe, I don't know.
They got called elsewhere because they were like, there's some other shit going on. Like there was a lot of things not really explained.
Yeah, I don't know whether like within those 14 minutes they'd already escaped, they'd already left. But then you would have seen the police actually, because like he was on the boat and so I think it's probably some sort of action that happened off camera. I mean, I wasn't really too fussed about that because I don't think you can dot the I's and cross the T's with everything, but
yeah, there would have been a reason they didn't make
Yeah.
it, but I just kind of, that bit kind of stuck with me. But
Mm.
also when they're doing that scene at the beginning and Red is sat down and like explaining, well, vaguely explaining, like even at that point I was like, I have so many questions. But then I felt horrible for the kids because she looked like Red looked at the daughter and was like, run girl, or little girl, run.
Little girl, run.
And her mom turned around and went, run. So she did. And then like she looked at the boy and was like, no, you can't take him. I was like, oh, well, someone's got a favorite. Like, you just sent your kid to fight for herself, but now you're protecting your son. I was like, again, is this kid actually like 20 years old, this little girl? And then so she's like, you're an adult, fend for yourself, drive, fine. But this boy's meant to be like 6. It blew my mind. I was like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
she definitely did. She preferred Jason. Absolutely. Like 100%. I don't know, maybe he's just younger and he's a bit more vulnerable. Like he's a bit kind of different to other kids. I don't know. Like maybe they were the reasons. Yeah.
But it just
She
seemed
definitely preferred him.
Very favored. And I was like, ouch. Even the way Red spoke about her two children, and she was like, my girl came out wrong. And I was this poor kid. And then like, I don't know, I can't remember what she said about Jason, about how like he had to be removed. And I can't remember like why he was the way he was, like more like a dog. And she kept like patting him and like stroking him. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, she was saying like the girl just like essentially gave birth naturally, but like
she came out.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was, the way she was like comparing, both things. Ugh,
these poor kids just getting like compared to their siblings.
Yeah, I know.
What is happening? So that kind of just made me chuckle.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, but like, so you liked the film in general, or were there like too many things for you that didn't really hit? Or
I think there was it was a really good idea for the most part. Like, and it was like home invasion, and then I loved the twist at the end. I loved the acting and the doppelgangers.
Yeah.
As you say, there was a bit of gore in there. I love the fact that the boat actually nearly did save the day when they got away on it, and then it just like after all this, nobody wants the boat. It nearly saved them. But I just think there was a lot of questions where I was like, why didn't they just go up the escalator? And I know the point is that they're dumb and they're like a bit fixed. And I know it's very like, I think this was the thing. I did a bit of research, not as much as I wanted to. And I think it's very metaphorical. And I think the whole thing, because I was like, why are all these people coming out? And they're like, because those two main families that we saw, they were like, we're going to kill you. This is our house now. So I was like, well, both of them, that's their vacation home. You can coexist. They could just give you the home. And you can just live there by the beach. They'll go back to their regular house. So there was things like that. I'm like, why? You figured out how to get up. Why can't you just live here? Why have you got to kill people? Why have you got to stand with your arm? Like, I didn't get the standing thing, but I think that was a huge thing in America. And again, don't know if that was like it was just lost on me because I was like, we never had that.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is like, oh, these big scary things have come out to stand in a line. I was like, that's not fucking scary. That's an English queue. We love a queue. I think it was lost on me. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think like she had that like Stand With America top on, so maybe they like took it from there. But yeah, like you say, like a lot of it is kind of very like political as well. It's kind of showing like the sort of lower class, how they're treated compared to how like look at Adelaide's, how her dancing career took off once she left the Tethered environment, and it's meant to show all of that and like class and privilege and stuff. But yeah, I think like the killing is to do with revenge. I think she was just like, I want us to take over,
which I get is like, it's our turn. And I was like, okay, I get that. But then the others weren't killing. They were just stood in a line. And it was that, but I was like, either you're coming up to cause mayhem or you're coming up to be peaceful. And it was a bit, there was too much of both. And I was like, and it was like, this took years to organize. I was like, well, clearly not everyone got the plan because you're doing two very different things. Yeah. And it would, if they were the only family they'd gone after, it would have made more sense. But because Blondie's family, whose name I've forgotten the character's name,
Kitty.
who?
Kitty.
I'd say it's Delight. Dalia? Dahlia. Kitty. Because her family also got killed. I was like, well, that wasn't personal. I don't know. It just seemed a bit random where like some were killing some. And I was like, this isn't a shared plan. But I do like what you said, like with the metaphor, because I did look into it and it was like meant to be like a metaphor of like rich, poor, how everyone was treated. Because I think that's what the original line was for, was to kind of like help with, to help raise awareness of like homelessness and poverty. So it was supposed to be like that divide. And it was like, well, how do you view people differently when they look like you? Because that's a lot of the problem. Is like, oh, well, you know, it's easy to be disinterested when you can't see yourself in a person who's homeless. So I was like, I do like that. And then like the idea of like, well, why don't they just walk out? And it's like, well, because they've not got education. They don't, you know, they don't know how to leave. So I liked that it was a child that left, because I was like, actually, kids are always like, it doesn't matter where they are born. Kid still has hope. A kid still can be like, I could give it a go. So I liked that. But yeah, I was just like, once they're up, I was like, what are they doing? Half of them had just stood there. And that really lost me.
Yeah. Well, I think at that point in that place, I think mostly everyone had died. So maybe they had no other option or anything else to do but to stand together for a bit. But it seemed like there was no one left. Like you saw all like the dead people in cars, they'd either escaped or they'd been killed. So it felt like it was very abandoned at that point.
Well, that was it, because it just looked empty. So I assumed everyone was like barricaded and hiding. But you're right, everyone could have just been straight up murdered. And then the only people left were in helicopters at the end.
Yeah.
But I just, I don't know, maybe if we'd seen a bit more of the carnage, like it would have been just clearer kind of what the overall goal was.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
Just talking about that area, actually, it's a really cool reference to the Lost Boys in this, because obviously, like, a lot of this takes place in Santa Cruz, obviously, and then Lost Boys with Santa Carla, and then apparently even Adelaide's mother says, oh, they're shooting a movie over there by the carousel, and obviously the first scene in Lost Boys is by the carousel, so I really love that little reference.
I didn't even click that.
I did, but I was just like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, because in the first scene it's like the right time as well. Clever. See, do love it.
So good.
I also forgot for a long time that Adelaide was handcuffed for half the film.
Yeah, me too.
Like she was, and it was when she was only at the end when I liked actually that where she like strangled her, and then when you see what happened to her as a child, that made I was like, oh, connection.
I didn't put that together.
So I liked that. Well, though, admittedly, it was the same one that did it both times. No, it wasn't. It was. It was. Yeah, it was, because
Adelaide just loves strangling people.
Adelaide just loves to strangle. So I did like that, like connection. But it was just so, because as soon as she did, I was like, how long have you been handcuffed for?
Yeah.
Like and I was like, fuck, actually, like literally since the beginning.
Yeah. That was brutal, that bit as well, like the way she just kind of almost slowly breaks her neck, like she's trying to. I don't think I would have been able to do that. Like I don't think I like would know how to do that if I had to. I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb.
I mean, maybe she did, because she'd already stabbed her, so I think like it was just
that it was like a final
speed it up a bit.
Yeah. I might just be being stupid, but what was the reference of Red whistling at the end when she was dying? No,
I didn't get that, because
we just missed something?
She wasn't whistling as a child, was she?
I don't think so.
I didn't understand the whistling.
Again, if anyone knows, are we just being dumb? Please tell us.
I don't know. I guarantee it would have been like it was the ballet song or something, because it was all about the dance.
Yeah, maybe.
But we just didn't register because it was different. I don't know.
No, I don't know either. So I felt like that had some sort of significance, but I couldn't put two and two together.
I'm gonna Google it.
Well, if you feel this way too, then I know I'm not that dumb.
Maybe it was just to be weird and be like, because it wasn't like the others whistled either. Because they obviously couldn't talk, but I don't know why apparently she was whistling Itsy Bitsy Spider. It's a recurring motif that symbolizes the switch between Adelaide and her tethered red. This song was the last one Adelaide heard before being kidnapped. Was it?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have picked up on that.
So did her parents sing it to her? It's like it's a nursery rhyme.
How old are these people?
The Itsy Bitsy Spider on the Santa Cruz was apparently like is shown,
Ah.
young Adelaide is shown whistling the Itsy Bitsy Spider on the Santa Cruz boardwalk.
Wow, if anyone picked up on that, like fair dues.
Absolutely missed that. I guess because a spider, it's like a spider web and it's the tether. But
Yeah,
I am really
yeah.
digging deep, and I do not remember any whistling other than that bit at the end. And I was like, huh?
Jordan Peele's a fucking genius. That's all I have to say. But
somebody did say that. Apparently, he has done it where he literally breaks down all the points. And I was like, I really need to watch that.
yeah, that would be. Yeah, we should definitely watch that.
Although
That
I feel like
sounds really
things like that make me then go, oh my God, it's an amazing film. But like just watching it, like haven't walked away going, oh my God, it's amazing.
Okay.
Which is a shame because I kept hearing it was really, really good. But when I was looking at some scores, funny enough on IMDb, like there was more average scores, like slightly lower in England than America. And again, I wondered if it was because a lot of the metaphor is around like American politics.
It
obviously,
is interesting.
not saying that England is innocent in any of our politics, but it obviously, being that it was set in America, American director, was going to be a little bit closer to home.
Definitely, yeah. I think it definitely hits more with America. I mean, the film's called Us, like US. Like there are so many kind of things to take from it in the US, but I think like in terms of like society and how people are treated, I think you can kind of relate to that in any place you're in. But yeah, it's very much like catered to, I think, to like the American culture and things.
Yeah.
But talking of that bit, like I really loved that kind of choreography of them attacking each other and then it going back to when they're both dancing. I love that so much. And the music with it, like I've got 5 on it, was just like playing throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I did like it, but Red was very much, well, she was very much a better dancer than Adelaide. And I was like, Adelaide, you've had like all this dance training. I felt like she kept taking hits, and I was like, I feel like you should be as graceful as Red. Like I feel like it should have been a bit more evenly matched. Whereas, I mean, admittedly, Red knew this attack was coming. Adelaide did not, so she may have put more practice in. But it just made me. I was like, it feels like this should be a bit more.
But maybe it goes back to like Red is the actual human in this, like human. She's not the doppelganger, so she maybe knows how to handle like combat better.
True. Which also actually does raise the point though that she was that good a dancer when she was originally a shadow or a tether, which means she had to learn like so much. Like she had to learn how to talk, she had to learn literally like how to move. I did love that scene actually when they do the flashback and we see like young Red walking through as if she's at the fun fair and all the like zombie-ish, and they're all like so on a ride in a room just spinning around, and I was like, that's fucking incredible. Like, or like on the roller coaster, I was like, this is amazing. Like I love this.
It really comes all together at the end. Like you kind of, everything sort of, the pieces started get put together for sure. And like even the rabbits, like the symbolization, the symbol of the rabbits at the beginning, like when there was that intro, I was like, what the fuck is this? But then obviously then it's like insinuated that they eat the rabbits raw, like that's their food source. And then there's like a rabbit reference all throughout, and like even Jason has a little pet rabbit at the end. Like,
well, I think he just stole it from down below. He was like, I'm saving a rabbit. It's like fair, like if you want to save something. I didn't. And again, me just overthinking it, because when they were like, apparently the rabbits were also copies, which is how like they just kept appearing when like, because rabbits breed like rabbits. So like they'd keep appearing, the endless supply of food. I was like, but could you not, like, because she was like, oh, we had to eat raw rabbit and it was horrible. I was like, could you not have tethered a different animal? Like had some variety, but then also it was
guys.
But it was like the government made them, made them. And also the idea, like, so that was the thing. When you're seeing that scene at the end, I was like, how big are these tunnels? Because does everyone have a tether? Like, how big are these tunnels? But there are abandoned tunnels all under America.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So I was like, if everyone could have a tether, I guess.
Yeah, like I think it's possible. I suppose they were the only people that were living in that area. I don't know, because we didn't see how long this thing went on for. Like,
no, true.
Yeah, it's fucking
crazy. There was a lot of people at that fun fair, and they were all squeezed in. I was like, that's not a huge environment for all these people.
No. Yeah, it's fucked. And also just the way they were, like they weren't walking properly. Their facial expressions were like, it's almost as if they were trying to copy them like as much as possible. And it was like a really distorted like way of doing it, and everything was off with them, and that really creeped me out.
Yeah, they were creepy.
Yeah, but I did love that sequence with like them showing the ballet and then going back to those two fighting each other. I thought it was so good. I love that like contrast between the two scenes. I thought that was really, really nicely done.
No, it was good.
And also, I think Jordan Peele's like cinematography is great. Like the camera action was amazing, and I think when you first see the family, and the dad's like, Gabe's like, if you want to get crazy, we'll get crazy, and like the family are there, and then like I think she like claps or something, and then they all just disappear, and I just love that shot where like they're all in the shadows. And they're just up there, and then suddenly all of them go. Like that's so terrifying to me because it's like, where the fuck are you?
And you literally see them run, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, they could
like
be anywhere.
It was scary when they stood still. When they moved, it was worse. No, you're very right. But it's like, again, I liked the like mimicking behavior, and it was like the one that I didn't really get with that was the kids in the cupboard when the two boys were in there, because they're like, go play, and then they go in a cupboard. I understood the boys' plan, but I was like, sure. But he kept trying to play with the lighter. But his doppelganger was holding a lighter. And then he got spooked by the spark from the second lighter. And I was like, but you're holding, you know what a lighter does. I was like, why are you jumping? You've done the same thing before. You knew what a lighter was going to do. You're holding one. Again, stupid detail that really bugged me.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe it was because like they weren't mimicking each other and that was freaking him out.
Maybe, I don't know. It was just, when he like jumped and I was like, was that necessary, bud? You've literally holding a lighter. Like you just did this. I was like, that's just,
fair.
It was such a stupid little thing, but I was like, mate, if he'd been like holding a torch and then the kid had fire, it's like a caveman seeing fire for the first time. But baffled me.
I do like that scene when he takes off his mask and you see like all the burns. That's quite cool. Yeah, it's quite shocking. Yeah,
was it explained why he was burnt?
I think when she introduces him at the beginning, I think he kind of says that he has a temper and he tends to like get himself into situations. So I think it was just kind of like he was,
That's why that kid's lighter didn't work. It's because his shadows one did. But the shadow one was the one that kept going wrong and why it ended up on fire. Ooh, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with it makes sense in my head.
Fine. Let's go with it.
I'm going to say that his wasn't working. His was, but he was taking the brunt of the bad. Because the mum, you're right, the Red did say, like, don't burn down our home. And that's when Adelaide was like, your home? Like, and realised it. But again, I was like, oh, they're here to just take over and take place. Nope.
Yeah, could have been that.
Maybe.
I'm
going to say yes.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Oh, dear.
So how did you feel about the whole plot twist? Because like, obviously, I guess right off the bat, you kind of think, okay, Adelaide sucks for doing that. Like, that's an awful thing to do. But at the same time, it's kind of like she was so young and maybe she just kind of wanted to escape. She didn't know any better. And like, I guess the whole point of this film is to kind of think about yourself. Like, would you do that? Like, if you had the opportunity to escape, would you do it? Like, it's kind of like who are the bad guys here, really, kind of thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's it. It is because then she says, like, the one bit I didn't get was when she was like, I was mad at you because you could have taken me up with you. I was like, dude, you didn't give her a chance to. You choked her out like 3 seconds in. But I think, as you say, it's very much like looking out for yourself first. I mean, she could have just come up with her and really confused the parents. That would have been fun. I want to see that film, actually.
Well, Red said that. She was the victim.
Yeah. It's really, it's hard because it is that where it's like, again, it's that class, isn't it? Like some people are born into that. So you're born, like Adelaide or Red was born on the surface by chance. Like literally she could have been, because they're tethered, very easily could have been the other way around.
Yeah.
And that is society. You can't help what you're born into. So some people obviously thrive because everything's handed to them on a plate. Some people have to fight for everything they've got. And I think that's it. It's like she was going to fight for what she had, but this is a very literal by dragging someone else down, which we do see. We tend not to see in children. We tend to see that like more further on in life. But
yeah,
I think for a metaphor, I think it was very on the like. Yeah, it was very good. It was very symbolic. I liked the twist because again, I think it was. I mean, she was the baddie of the film. Like Red was meant to be the baddie, so we weren't gonna. Like, what were they going to do? Make each other friendship bracelets? Like, there was going. I like that there was a twist. Like, it had to be something.
Yeah, and one of them had to die.
Yeah, I mean, again, I still kind of wanted them to live side by side because I was like, "There's room up here for everyone." Like, but and again, that's the problem, isn't it? It's very easy for you and me to sit and be like, "There's room for everyone," but how many people's opinion is that there's not, or that this is mine, you can't have it, I won't share it, and it's we live in quite a selfish world.
Yeah, and that world wasn't meant for them. Like that isn't their purpose on this world. It wasn't to go to the other side. And like how can they both live on that? Yeah, like in that world together, kind of thing. It was almost like it's either me or you. So
well, again, like because the tethers were made to control those above. Which again speaks volumes about like as a metaphor and like governments. We need women to have children so that we've got more workers. I'm like, what? I literally like you see it happening every day, and this is just very
it's fast.
Again, like I do like this concept. I really do like it, and I do love that opening actually, where she sees the back of the head and she's like, "Fuck." Although I don't know if I'd recognize the back of my own head, and I know that sounds stupid, but. Anyway, but I really did like that shot. And I forgot where I was going with this. But I just kind of wanted to know. I wanted a bit more done with all the others. And again, I think that could have just been because again, even the news report just showed them holding hands. There was like one guy that came to kill the reporter, which also, did they show stuff like that on American news? Because they were like, look away now, but it was like straight up a murder clip. And I was like, did they just show that on the casual news? And I have a horrible feeling they do from some things I've seen. Yeah,
I think it was live and it happened so quickly that they probably didn't have time to like switch it over.
Switch it off. Yeah, probably actually. But yeah, so there was like one just like shut down the camera, which is funny because you're like, well, no, like that's how people are seeing what you're doing. But then also the rest were just peaceful. So I think even if we'd just seen a bit more carnage before they got together, it would have just answered some questions.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you saw a bit more, carnage, I think is the right word. Like kind of like weird reference, but like the Purge, where you kind of see a bit more going on before. Yeah, that makes sense. That's valid, I think.
Because I think that's it. Like you say, we saw the aftermath, but it didn't actually tell us like are people just hiding or are people dead? Like there was a few dead because they tried to run, but are people just barricaded in their homes? Like I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny actually when you mentioned that news thing because they're all sat there watching it and then you've got like Kitty on like she's like on the table like dead
like
yeah,
you carry on guys.
It was such a good shot where it was just of them and then they just show her. It's like
actually that's one bit that got me was when her husband she came down and was like, can you look outside, I heard a noise. And then he's like, oh yeah, something's out there. She's like, don't wind me up. No, there's not. And I was like, you sent him to look.
and then he says it's OJ Simpson.
Yeah, then he was taking the piss. But I was just like, you said you heard something. You can't be surprised that something was there. And I know he was winding her up, but I was like, what? How is there's no trust in this relationship? Like I know it was a bit of like banter with those two, but I was like, what? Yeah, just made me laugh.
Oh, I did love that scene. I did love it. But yeah, no, it's weird. It makes you think. It's really like, was she the bad guy? Yes, technically, but was she so desperate, that she, as you say, was willing to sacrifice someone else to have this life? Like, and like I was saying before, like Adelaide thrived in the real life. Like she became a successful dancer and like, but I realized as well, like when I was saying about how I noticed other things, like when Adelaide was talking to Kitty on the beach. And like Kitty was trying to make conversation with her and she was kind of like, oh, I'm just not very good at doing that. And I thought like, oh, that's kind of a strange thing to put in a film. But like it kind of then explains like she hasn't been born from this. So like she started as a doppelganger. So she doesn't know really how to socialize with people, like truly, like just kind of casually chatting to people. It's weird.
Yeah, because your first 5 years are like really important in especially speech development. So again, bear in mind she missed that. Yeah, like small talk is not going to be her forte.
Yeah. And like you kind of think at the time of the film, you're like, oh, okay, like random thing to put in, but then it all kind of makes sense at the end.
Yeah. I just love that Kitty was like, oh, I totally get that, and then continued to speak endlessly. I was like, Kitty, I love it.
Yeah. And she's like, well, something in me has changed. It's like she looks exactly the same. Yeah. And she's like, have you had something done? Oh my God.
I also loved as well, someone pointed out, and I was like, oh, that's genius, just like really subtle. Well, that's so subtle. But Adelaide started in a white dress, and by the end of the film, the dress was basically covered in blood. So it was like as the film progressed, she basically become closer to red.
Nice.
So by the time she was like down the escalator, she was almost one of them again.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Them, sorry.
Tethered. Yeah, so good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she was always kind of like this white princess that had everything her way, and then all of a sudden,
yeah. Sorry,
changed.
I just read this, which annoyingly, because you just said about the something in her changed, it's just really funny. When Elizabeth Moss trained in ballet throughout her adolescence, so before giving it up at age 15 to pursue acting. So when the character of Adelaide says she was a talented ballet dancer until she peaked at 14, Moss's character Kitty says, "Didn't we all?" Which actually could be a real life reference to the fact she gave up her dancing.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Fuck, that's actually brilliant."
That's so good.
These films go deep.
They do, yeah. Jordan Peele's a fucking genius.
He really is. His films are very clever, but I think that's it. Where you can't always just look at it as like entertainment. Like there is normally so much more going on, and sometimes I'm like, but like Get Out is his other, and I'm like, yes, you can look at that, you can deep dive into that for the metaphors, but you can just watch it because a lot more is explained. Whereas in this one, I had a lot more questions.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Like, you can look at Get Out as just a kind of entertainment thing. Like, it's just a good horror film.
Yeah, like but it also has a message, but
of course, yeah. That's maybe this was kind of for you, like teetering too much on like the political side. I don't know. Like, I personally think it had a good combination of both, but I see what you mean when it's kind of like there could have been a bit more carnage before everything else was explained. I just want to know what everyone else was doing when they came up. And again, when it was like us, it was just very centered around that family, which I think was fine. But when you've got an entire population coming up, what the hell are they all doing? That's like, I want an Us too, but it's got nothing to do with those two families, and it's everyone else. Like, do you want to see what else is going on? Maybe we'll see what happens. Watch this space. Please, Jordan Peele. Well, do you think you could survive yourself, Tao? Could you fight yourself?
I mean, it's got to be very therapeutic, hasn't it, going up against yourself?
Yes, yeah. But like, because you have the exact same strength. Like, what?
Yeah, like, how do I beat? Well, you do and you don't, because the ones who grew up without the sunshine did seem a little bit weaker. But again, that was at the beginning of the film. Like, then they had time to practice, so they could have got stronger.
Yeah, and I think with Adelaide, it was kind of just luck of the draw that she turned around and like killed Red. Like, I think it wasn't really any skill; it was more just kind of luck.
I feel like unless there was carnage, and unless I saw it on the news that everyone was like, "Oh my god, your doppelgangers are here and they're evil," I feel like if I just suddenly knocked on the door, my natural instinct is to try and make. That's it. I'd be like, "Oh, cool. I'm going to make friends with you." Like,
if they're standing there in a red jumpsuit and scissors.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it? Like when you first see them, they're doing a weird thing like hiding in the shadows. And I think that's it. It very much depends on how you're introduced to your doppelganger. And I have a horror, like if they were hiding in my like garden and like in the shadows and being creepy, we'd probably have a problem. Not sure if I'd win, but we'd probably like I'd be scared. But like if they just knocked on the door and were like, hi, although they wouldn't because they can't talk.
I'm talking about the film.
Yeah, I generally don't know. I think if my doppelganger turned up, my instinct would be to help them. My instinct would be to talk to them, and then I have a funny feeling if they turned up with just the plan to kill me and they weren't like Adelaide and weren't going to explain anything, I'd be dead because they would just attack.
Yeah. I think if they approached me the way that fucking this film did, I would be so caught off guard by it that I probably would die. Like,
if I was sat chatting with them, I feel like I'd be trying to reason with myself. And I like to think I'm reasonable. I don't know if my doppelganger is.
Well, because they come from such a different world that they won't be. Like, they can't speak. They don't have the same psychological, like, you know, intelligence that you have. Like, they don't have the same vibe. So they wouldn't be able to have a normal conversation with you.
Yeah, so, I'd just be there, like, trying to. And to be fair, I'd be, like, food hungry because I'm always hungry. So if they've only ever eaten rare rabbit, like I might be able to just bribe them over. I'm seeing it not going well for me, but I know I'd try things. What about you? Do you think you'd survive?
I don't. Yeah, that's. I love that. I see it not going well for me. I actually feel the exact same way. Like I don't know how it would go, but I don't think. I don't know. I don't think mine would be like, oh, you know, put the kettle on, let's have a chat. Like I think it would be like, let's go. And I think if I caught myself unawares, then I'd probably be dead.
Okay, I'm at yours. We're having movie night and we've got like Chinese. Our doppelgangers knock on the door. Again, we can be like, look, you've like come and eat some good food and watch a horror film. We've got the same brains. We may be able to win them over.
Yeah, nice.
But like I also know I can be a bit of an arsehole. And if my doppelganger is more of an arsehole, we may have a problem.
Yeah, same. So if our doppelgangers are cuntier than us,
if they get the worst side of us times 10, we may be in trouble.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
It is really hard though, because it is that where it's like, well, if we're getting the version of ourselves we can try and talk to. I also think that's it. Like you say, like, yes, we've come from very different worlds to our doppelgangers, but we're also not rich. Like we're not in Adelaide's position where we went to private school. We've got a vacation home. Like, so we can be like, yeah, sure, just come and live in my, like, you know, sleep on my sofa. But we haven't got, like, yes, we get to see the sky, but we're not like thriving like Adelaide is. Yeah. So again, I don't know.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I don't know if my doppelganger would be so out for revenge for me because I don't think I've done anything that amazing.
Also, just turn up and be like, "You've been trying your best." Like, yes, thank you. Come on in. Why?
Like, we're really jealous of your podcast. Like, can you imagine right now in the walls or wherever in the tunnels? It's me and you, like our doppelgangers.
They've popped up and they're like, "You keep trying. This looks hard." Like, no, we're just trying to survive like the day. They're gonna be like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to. No, just disappear again.
But they would have to be. That's so funny. They would have to be part of the podcast. So it's like, our doppelgangers doing the podcast.
Like, look, I need a week off. Can you do it for me?
Like, it would be really handy, actually.
Yeah, it'd be really good. I mean, they can't talk much, so I don't know how good they'd be on a podcast, but
like, can't talk at all, actually. So yeah, I just realised that.
So Katie's doppelganger. Did you like this film?
That's what it would be like. Just be like two zombies talking the entire time.
I mean, we might get popular. That might be what we're missing.
Maybe.
I mean, no one else has done it. That is a unique podcast.
That's true. Yeah, we get our doppelgangers on. Well, that's what we'll do. They're the next guests.
There we go. Oh dear. Well, what are you giving this spookies out of 5? And what was your favorite spooky moment?
I'm gonna give it 4 spookies. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I have a lot of time for it. I think I definitely watch it again. I do like giving these kind of films a couple of watches because, as I say, I think you do pick up a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to give that kind of dance sequence bit at the end my sort of spooky scene, just because I thought like that part was where it all came together and it was really tense and you weren't really sure what was going to happen. So I really like that bit. So What about you?
I think I'm going to give it a 3. Again, I've spoken quite highly about it, but I do just think I was watching it going, it's missing stuff, which we've obviously discussed. I'm not going to go back into. So, yeah, sorry, always asking for more me. I'm so fussy. But I did enjoy it. And I think I'm actually going to go with the twist at the end, where, like, yeah, also because, again, it's really weird seeing like a kid be that evil. But again, when you're kind of looking at it metaphorically, when you're looking at it literally, it really does kind of add so much to it. And you're like,
yeah,
fuck, this whole time. So yeah, I really liked that.
Nice. Like it.
Well, amazing. Well, that was our Us episode, where next time join us with our doppelgangers. Probably not. But join us for our next film in a couple of weeks. Follow us on all the socials. Don't forget to subscribe. It gives us all the confidence. But yes, if you follow along, you'll see what we're going to be doing, so you can watch it and listen along. Until then, bye.
Bye-bye. Don't die.
We'll let your doppelganger get you.